Hello, everybody. My name is Benjamin Bloom. I thought we were done for the night. I took a anchor announced at Birmingham, literally sitting down to pick out a movie to watch, and the bombshell is dropped. Sheffield Wednesday's FFP appeal hearing has been concluded, and they will be deducted 12 points next season, thus avoiding relegation. Absolutely landmark stuff in terms of FFP. We've had one guilty party in the Championship before. That was Birmingham City last season, who were deducted 9 points during the same season that their infraction they were found guilty for. This one has been rumbling on a long time, and I can see some very emotional comments about to come up asking why this sanction has been applied next season and not this season, essentially sparing Sheffield Wednesday relegation. So big, huge story. We don't know a lot yet, and more will be revealed as we're going to get written reasons. What we do have is some context, hopefully from me, and we do have statements from both Wednesday and the EFL on this one. Here is what the EFL have put out very, very recently. So listen very carefully. The detail is in here. An independent disciplinary commission appointed under EFL regulation has ruled that Sheffield Wednesday will receive a 12-point deduction for breaching the league's profit and sustainability rules for the 3-season period ending with season 17-18. So remember these rules: across 3 seasons, you can lose 13 million a season, rolling total of 39 million. So these infractions are 17-18, 16-17, and 15-16. Those are the 3 seasons that we're talking about. And another key point there, this is a disciplinary commission, not the EFL doing this. There's some buck passing going on, let's just say. The sporting sanction will take effect in season 2020-21. That is going to be the thing that is going to knock people. But remember, we are in uncharted territory. There's nothing to say that they cannot do that. There's nothing to say how long it has to take. But I can see fans of teams down the bottom there, particularly Charlton, who are in that third bottom spot, saying if that sanction is applied this season, we survive and Wednesday go down. Reading on, third paragraph. The club was charged in November 2019. November 2019. And you don't need me to tell you it's tomorrow. It is August 2020. November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. 9 complete months this has taken to be resolved, and that has saved Sheffield Wednesday from relegation. The club was charged in November 19 and referred to an independent disciplinary commission, which conducted a full hearing at the end of June 2020 before finding the club guilty based on the fact that the club should not have included profits from the sale of Hillsborough in the club's financial statements for the period ending July 2018. So what they've done wrong that's put them over the FFP limit here is that they've done the stadium sale that we've seen clubs do to themselves. They sell the stadium, lease it back. They essentially sell it to a company that they set up in their own name. They then lease it back to pay rent on it. And that big chunk of money for a club's biggest asset that isn't a player, but if you're in the Championship, you don't have many players worth more than your stadium. And that is how clubs have been just adding more FFP good money into their accounts. The issue here is it's gone into the wrong year, is what this is finding here. The club was found not guilty of a further charge of breaching its duty of utmost good faith to the EFL by deliberately concealing information from the league in respect of filings made in respect of the profit and sustainability rules. So the points deduction would have been more. That would have been an extra infraction, but it is 12 points, 3 points more than Birmingham got. You can read up on the rules. There is a sliding scale with the amounts. Remember, in Birmingham's case, there was an extra point for a flagrant breach, but then Birmingham then cooperated and had that point taken off. Sheffield Wednesday obviously didn't cooperate. In fact, they appealed the decision in the same way with the Derby case that is going on as well. So 12 points is what they have reached. And the key information is it's happening next season. And it really just seems to be with FFP I don't want to say it, but a make it up as you go along approach to how long these things are allowed to take. And given the appeal and what did we say, 9 months it's taken, that essentially has put it over into next season and saved them from relegation. Here is Sheffield Wednesday's statement. Sheffield Wednesday acknowledged the decision of the Independent Disciplinary Commission. Remember, not the EFL. The club is extremely disappointed that the Commission has imposed a 12-point deduction to be applied next season and awaits the written reasons for this decision. So we will get a report. We'll get exactly why they came to 12 points, and we'll find out why it's going to be applied next season, not this season. By the way, we do need to say right now, this is the biggest ever points deduction for FFP. I know Luton fans and other teams that have had different deductions will say, oh, but we got that much. Yes, I do understand. But this is for FFP that we're talking about. It's only Birmingham and Sheffield Wednesday that have had the deductions. Let's read on. The club welcomes the decision that the Commission cleared Sheffield Wednesday of the charge of acting in bad faith in its dealings with the EFL. Further, the Commission decided not to apply a 12-point deduction this season, thereby imposing relegation. The club will await the written reasons for the sanction and upon receipt will digest and consider the full detail with its legal advisors before making any further comments. So the big deal here, let's try and summarize this. 12 points, talking about the 3 years ending 17-18, so 15-16, 16-17, 17-18. That 3-year period, Sheffield Wednesday lost more than 39 million, which is the acceptable EFL amount. They tried to do the stadium sale, but it seems the numbers have been put in the wrong year. That's different than what Derby have been charged for. Derby have been charged for their overvaluation of their Pride Park Stadium. Sheffield Wednesday haven't. It's been put in the wrong year, if that makes sense. And remember, there is no sort of statute of limitations here. It doesn't say, oh, if you're charged, the punishment will be applied for the season in which you are charged. It doesn't say within 3 months. It is totally open-ended. This has gone to appeal, however, and this is an independent disciplinary commission making this decision. There is your league table for this season, and you can see Sheffield Wednesday there on 16 points. If you took 12 off, they would have been bottom of the league on 44 points. They would have been relegated, and Charlton Athletic would stay in the division. I hope everybody is keeping up. So what I need is your feedback. First of all, 12 points, the highest ever. And what does this mean for Wednesday next season? I can see a lot of the comments being based on the short-term implication of this, that they haven't been relegated, but they're starting on minus 12 points. And we know, given what happened this season, that would have been enough to relegate them. They were in the top 3, I think, after a game against Bristol City, perhaps early December time. Fact check me on that in the comments. And it was quite a poor second half of the season in terms of form. I think only Hull possibly worse, with this hanging over Gary Monk and his squad and the club. So it's looking like Wednesday are now de facto favourites for relegation next season. So don't assume that Wednesday are getting away scot-free here, because they've got a very hard season ahead of them. What I need is your thoughts on, 1, the total, the 12-point total. What do you think of that? 3 points more than Birmingham got, and we're still awaiting a Derby appeal. 2, and this is the big one, not to impose the sanction this season. Hey, it may be that they get relegated next season. It may be now they lose their manager, players won't come to them with a 12-point deduction, and there's going to be chaos at Sheffield Wednesday next season. Notice no mention of any transfer embargoes or things of that nature. It looks like just a deduction of 12 points next season. So tell me what you think on that sanction being imposed next season as opposed to this season, and effectively the punishment being a charge of relegation for the financial infraction for that 3-year period. Thirdly, what does this mean for Wednesday? Is that it for Gary Monk now? Will he walk and say, look, this was all done when I wasn't here. I'm not doing this. I'm out. Get someone else to manage you with your 12-point deduction. What does this mean for star players like Barry Bannon? Does he now move on? What does this mean for Sheffield Wednesday going forward? And will they now, have they been consigned a relegation next season, or can they get past the 12-point deduction? Remember, Wigan deducted 12 points this season. That did for them as well. 12 points does seem to be quite the handicap. And remember, it's not just the points mathematically, it's the psychology of this also. And I'm preempting comments now, comparing it to the Wigan situation. Wigan has been appealed as well. But remember, what I would say when you're comparing the two, you are comparing apples and oranges, because there is a clear statute of limitations here for Wigan, where it was very clear what the rules were. If you go into administration, then the 12-point deduction is applied that season, or if you're going to be relegated anyway, it goes on to the next season. Whereas FFP, completely open-ended, and frankly, they can do this and decide when they're going to drop the punishment and the points deduction. That, I think, is going to be the big thing in the comments. Look, get your thoughts in on this one. I know this is going to be a very emotional one in the comments. People are going to think Charlton have been screwed. Wednesday have got away with one. Wednesday fans will think Wednesday have been screwed. People are going to be having to go at the EFL and the disciplinary commission. Let's try and keep it calm and balanced in the comments. Try and talk about the facts and hopefully what I've laid out, and then let's try and debate in a civil way. But I know this is going to be a hot one in the comments. Really quickly, because I want to get this up, you can support the channel via Super Chat or subscribing on Patreon. Please like and comment on this video. Please don't come at me if you're an upset Charlton fan or Sheffield Wednesday fan. I'm just reading the facts here. You can see I have an Ipswich scarf up there. I don't support Wigan, Charlton, Sheffield Wednesday, any team involved really in this. Derby with the one coming up. I'm just trying to lay out the facts. I know emotions run high. Let's just try and keep it polite and civil in the comments. But please get your reactions in. Sheffield Wednesday deducted 12 points for an FFP infraction, but the 12-point deduction comes next season. Huge news. Get your comments in. Over and out.